difficult to not only protect our water resources, but also use our water resources.
Our third question will be from Senator Rogers, and we'll answer it in this order: Scott, Ms. Cassada, and Sal. Senator.
Candidates, how would you put Medicare on stronger financial ground and protect today's seniors and future retirees from the burden of rising health costs?
I appreciate that question. It's important. Do we have any people in here that are 55 years or older? Anybody that care to say, I'm not admitting that you're 55 or older? The bill that we passed through the House of Representatives, for you with Medicare, nothing changes. Nothing changes. We're standing up for our seniors. I made a pledge when I ran for office 2 years ago to make sure that we stood up for our senior citizens. Every vote has reflected that commitment. But every senior citizen I know also cares for their children and their grandchildren. These aren't my numbers, they're the President's numbers. 2024, Medicare goes bankrupt. We've heard no plan from Mr. Pace in terms of how are you going to make Medicare sustainable. We need it for his generation so that we can make that promise fulfilled to them. They're going to call it a voucher. He's already writing it down. It's not a voucher. If you have that choice, you can stay on Medicare, or you're going to have a menu of choices, much like Medicare Part D, which is very popular with many senior citizens right now, to be able to make sure that you're driving those costs down. And we need to make sure that we're having real competition as well. We need to repeal, again, Obamacare in this country. The Medicare system is inflaming the Medicaid system in this country. We have better proposals that are out there to allow competition to work, to incentivize private medical health care savings accounts, to make sure that if you're a small business, you can actually come together to be able to negotiate even better rates as well.
Ms. Cassada.
This is a very important issue to me because, of course, my grandmother is on Medicare and I love her dearly, and my parents will be on it soon. And so I think that the first thing we have to look back at is the taproot of the problem. And the problem with Medicare is that it's not sustainably funded. Now, to correct this is going to take working together in Congress, and I am not optimistic that that's going to happen anytime soon. So another thing we need to focus on is what is making it so expensive. Well, inflation contributes to all of us and our ability to pay for things. So monetary policy, whether you like it or not, and I'm going to come back to this over and over again, our money and the soundness of our money is an extremely important issue that should be focused on at the federal level. Of all the things the federal government is doing, this is incredibly important. This is especially important for people who are on fixed incomes, like my grandmother. And so Medicare, I think, again, I'm not a big fan of the federal government engaging in activities. It's an inefficient machine. I think we're seeing that. We definitely need to have competition and allow private insurance companies to sell across state lines and have competition. However, in addition to this, I understand that people have paid into this system. I look at it as a contractual obligation from the federal government, and it's our federal government's role to fulfill that contract with the people. For the next generation upcoming, however, if they want to opt out of this, just like if they want to opt out of Social Security and use their own money to invest in their own health care or invest in their own retirement, I do believe that we should start working on reforming the system so that people have the opportunity and the option to opt out and make their own decisions what they do with their money and with their health care.
I think it's great to have a debate, but one thing we should all agree on is that we base it on facts. If you're older than 55, the donut hole comes back immediately for you, meaning that more prescription drugs cost more money under the Tipton-Ryan budget. In addition, it is a voucher. senior citizens will have to go onto the private marketplace and purchase private insurance. This is the first, we've been running for a year against each other, and this is the first time Congressman Tipton has said it's not a voucher. If it wasn't a voucher, I'm sure I would have heard it a long time ago from Congressman Tipton. My dad's back there. He's 74. I was in the hospital with him when the doctors were pounding on his chest to revive him a couple years ago. He's on his third pacemaker, and there's absolutely no way living on Social Security as a retired mechanic that he could go into the private marketplace and purchase insurance because of his pre-existing conditions. And a lot of seniors have a lot of pre-existing conditions. The truth of the Tipton-Ryan budget is seniors, and this is from the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office, seniors will have to pay $6,400 out of pocket to have the same type of care that they already have today. I think it's important that we address the real issues. We have to look at the fee-for-service model. We have to look at the parts of Obamacare that we agree on. We have to work together. But Congressman Tipton, 33 votes in 2 years to repeal Obamacare. When did you expect a different result? After vote 15, 20, 30? The fact is you didn't expect a different result. There's just more partisanship out of Washington that we're all sick of.
Our fourth question, which will be by Ms. Alvear, and will be ordered by answered by Ms. Cassavant, Sal, and then Scott in that order. Ms. Alvear.
Candidates, what is your position regarding development of the nation's energy resources on public lands?
Running for a federal seat, I don't think that the federal government has any role in dictating energy policy to the American people, nor to Coloradans and people in this district. We have immense energy resources in our district, both renewable and non-renewable. Many times, the Department of Energy and other regulatory agencies get in the way of developing this. Not only coal and oil and gas, but also wind and solar and geothermal energy. It's really important to find ways that we can stop the federal government from stopping us from developing our resources. I do think that there is a way for companies to come in and lease public lands, whether it's from a county, a city, the state, and find a way that these companies, with their lease, pay money directly back to the citizens. The government is really good at taking money away from us. They have a mechanism to give it back to us too. So instead of these companies paying money to the government agencies, be it the state or the county, I would really like to talk about eventually, and I don't know if it's possible or not, but have companies paying the people themselves. Then the people in those communities become stakeholders of energy development. When people have a financial tie and a potential get financial help from having energy in their community, that may change the discussion. And it's really important to include the stakeholders of the district, of the community, in what they want developed in their district and in their community. And that goes both ways, not only for developing your resources to bring in profit and bring in money to the community, but also how to regulate and how to protect those communities' resources.
Energy development in the 3rd Congressional District of all types means jobs, whether it's natural gas or it is solar. We have the largest solar plant in the entire state in the San Luis Valley, or wind development, because we have the largest wind turbine manufacturer in the world in Pueblo, Colorado. It is also a national security issue. We have to free ourselves from the dependence on foreign oil. There is absolutely a role for development of our resources on federal land, and it's about balance and it's about respect. We have to have a balanced approach. We have to respect each other. We have to respect the land, the water, and we can all coexist. At the end of the day, though, I think the most important piece is it has to be a case-by-case scenario. We have to have the